Morning, folks. It's your boy CJ, the internet warlord, coming to you live this morning. And I'll tell you guys what. Just wait, I guess, a little bit. I have to get my coffee. All that fun stuff. Yeah. What a day. Gotta get that first sip of coffee in. Yeah. It's been a fun day. Or excuse me, yesterday was a fun day. Don't worry. I won't be calling the government today. It's amazing how many people got to hear how my rights were violated with witnesses. Oh, CJ, your Sixth Amendment rights are not being violated. You just don't have a right to a trial by jury. Wait a minute. That's the Sixth Amendment. Who said that, you idiot? Identify yourself. Well, anyways. So, yeah, I can't believe that I have that on recording for the rest of history. Like, your Sixth Amendment's not being violated, CJ. You just don't have the right to a trial by jury. Good morning, Indiana Grandma. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? That was my yesterday. To have somebody say that your Sixth Amendment is not being violated, you just don't have the right to a trial by jury, is like the biggest red flag of them all. See, I want my day in court. That's the American way, right? Good morning, Revelia. So, again, I guess I need this nectar here. So, it makes no sense to me. I went full circle. Like I said, I went from the district attorney to the attorney general to the sheriff, back to the attorney general, back to the hang on, let me get this right. I went from the district attorney to the attorney general's office, and these are all by referral, by the way. They were referring me to the next person. Hello, Patrick. They were referring me from one to the other. So here's how it went. The district attorney referred me to the attorney general. The attorney general referred me to the sheriff. The sheriff referred me to the district attorney. District attorney referred me to the attorney general. The attorney general directed me back to the sheriff. The sheriff directed me back to the district attorney. And this is after telling them, like, they told me to call you back. They told me to tell you that that's your job to do. And then they said, well, it's not my job to do. You need to contact these people. And then the sheriff told me I'd need to contact the state SBI, the State Bureau of Investigation. And then from there, if you can believe this, they ended up saying that, well, the state SBI, and again, I have this on recording. The state SBI said that they could literally witness a murder in the parking lot, and unless the sheriff or the district attorney asks them for an investigation, they do not do an investigation. Now, I'm acting as my own attorney, and I have the right to seek these alphabet agencies to my benefit and to my favor. Meaning, if I want an investigation into the sheriff's deputy that assaulted me, the only place to get that investigation is through the SBI in North Carolina, the State Bureau of Investigation. Okay? So, the State Bureau now says that they could witness a murder in their own parking lot, and unless the district attorney or the sheriff request them to investigate it, they have nothing they can do to investigate it. So I call back to the sheriff, and I let him know that, and in his office, I left it in a voicemail saying that the state SBI will literally only investigate your deputy, the one that you supervise directly, Captain, if they get a request from you. I don't know if you're going to do that or not. I would hope you would. I would hope you would if there's somebody accusing your deputy of a felony aggravated assault. I'm just saying. But then again, the district attorney says that the ADA officer, the Americans with Disabilities officer, has denied my investigation. Who the hell is this ADA officer, and why can't I speak to them? Well, you can only speak to them in open court, CJ. Well, that doesn't seem like they're my advocate. If they were my advocate, I'd be able to speak to them if they were, again, so this doesn't make any sense to me, the process for this. So, again, why does the ADA officer of the county get to determine whether or not an investigation into a felony assault from a deputy gets to take place? Good morning, Jennifer and Samantha. I'm asking the questions. As my own attorney, I have the right to question these things. And if you're not going to do an investigation, that means that I get to have people investigate. And then you guys get to say, oh, well, he's using the internet for cyber stalking. You will literally, and have seen, people in my own comments put 2 and 2 together. I go there to stop the felony kidnapping that my daughter's mother, Christina Heathman, and her stepfather, Justin Heathman, have committed a felony kidnapping. I have all the evidence, and to include the DNA in my body and the blood running through my veins. And for whatever reason, the ADA officer doesn't get to investigate the assault that was against me. For whatever reason, Onslow County is still harboring felony kidnappers. None of these people use their position as a mandatory reporter for my daughter to say, hey, we're mandatory reporters. Justin Heathman is mentally molesting that little girl, and Christina Heathman is allowing it to happen. She's abusing her children. She's allowed to get away with it because of narrative and social stigma towards mothers. She can't do no wrong. She's a victim. No, she's not. She is the perpetrator of these crimes and this fraud. Fact. Fact. So I'll do my own investigation. I'll get my own witnesses. I'll get my own, I'll keep complaining about my rights being violated and speaking the way that I know that you understand that my rights are being violated. To have it literally be said to me, your constitutional rights aren't being violated, CJ, you just don't have a right to a trial by jury. Is the violation of the 6th Amendment recorded live for everybody to listen to? Thank you very much. I had to read them, the 6th Amendment, not once, not twice, 3 different times. To say, do you realize the words that you're saying? Well, according to North Carolina statute, code, regulation, this, that, and the other, you don't have a right. No, that is called depriving me of a constitutional right and a deprivation of my right under the color of your law. That I don't have a right to a trial by jury. It says all crimes. All crimes. And again, I'm professing my innocence. And what do you want, Mr. Abernathy? I want these charges dropped against me. I want the investigation into the sheriff deputy that assaulted me and dislocated my shoulders. What I want. All because, again, I paid to be there. I speak loudly. Nobody was calling for his assistance. And he took the time that he had to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Rogue? To interject himself? To take out a vendetta, to do it with a smile on his face, as we've all seen. All again, they're protecting my daughter's kidnappers at this point. At this point, it's very easily proven that they're protecting my daughter's kidnappers. That's the truth of what I'm experiencing. And they get mad because I can sit here and explain it to you like this. Oh, you can't say it like that online, CJ. No, I can say what I want online and how I want online. That's my freedom of speech, and this is my freedom of press. You just had a huge bowl of cereal. You can wait. This little girl, she eats breakfast, lunch, dinner. She has second breakfast, second lunch, and then she gets to dinner and she's like, I'll eat a little bit. Yeah, you can wait. Yeah. Kids. She wanted to watch The Incredibles. I've seen it 4 times already and I don't want to watch it again. So I figured I'd have coffee with you fine folks and share my concerns and my redress of grievance again. What are you doing?
Baby Jack got stuck far and he just said
That's silly. You want to say hi to everybody? Say good morning. Okay.
Good morning.
All right. At least you're not yelling at me this morning. I'm not paying nothing. When you are innocent and you've been assaulted, I'm not paying that county nothing. That is ridiculous. For the notion that there'd be somebody out there be like, you know what, we're going to violate your rights, Mr. Abernathy. We're going to harbor your daughter's kidnappers. We're going to protect them from you. Which, again, is ridiculous. They are literally getting away with a felony kidnapping. They can buy the cheapest bar attorney in North Carolina and get a victory just because they have an attorney and I'm representing myself pro se. Because I believe I shouldn't have to pay for an attorney when I can act as my own. And that goes to prove how corrupt it really is. That there is no equal protection nor equal justice under the law. And not just North Carolina, California, all 50 states. All 50 states, a mother can get away with a kidnapping like this. And it'll go over 1,800 days. And I've been not only calling it, but predicting it and talking about it this entire freaking time. And I know my rights. I've had the FBI at my table. I've had sheriffs at my door. I've had police at my door. I've had, you name it, at my door. All concerned about what I'm saying right here. And I've been told my rights, I've been told what I'm able to do, and not one of them have put their fucking hands on me. Pardon my French. Until I got to Deputy Henriquez of Onslow County, who was taking my case a little personal, and I made him a little butthurt. So him and his friends started cyber stalking me, figuring out where I'm going to be, when I'm going to be there, how I'm going to be there. To the point where they could literally know when I'm going to be at the office and when they can make their move. And they already coordinated how they're going to assault me. How it's going to go down. They've coordinated it. Unless the officer wants to admit that it was spontaneous, he acted on his own. In which case, if he doesn't implicate any other sheriff, then he is personally liable. He'll admit the fault right there. Unless he wants to implicate anybody else. In which case, this is why you need an investigation. You see what I'm saying? So I'm being denied an investigation by the state SBI because the ADA officer won't request an investigation into my case. Won't give me the unmasking and paper of who's doing this to me. Won't give me the details of the crimes that are being committed against me and why. Just because they get to say he's guilty, 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 guilty until the end of time does not mean I'm guilty. I can say they're kidnappers. I can say they're assailants. They're child molesters. Every fucking one of them. I can say whatever I want about them. They might not like it, but I'm just describing who the f they are. They want to sit there and harbor the kidnappers and the child molester of my fucking daughter. You see how stupid this is? The government is the one protecting my daughter's kidnappers and molester. You're fucking kidding me, right? But this should not surprise anybody. This shouldn't surprise you. This shouldn't surprise you at all. It doesn't surprise me at all. I've been the one sitting here predicting it. Telling you. Well, this is how it's going to go down. If we have a just system, they'll be sitting behind bars by Friday. I've literally had the captain of the Special Victims Unit in Onslow County tell me that if I have DNA evidence, then I have rights to my child. I had the judge in there tell me I have standing for a case in Onslow County. One judge says that, then another judge does the opposite. Explain it to me how that's possible. And it's all documented and live recorded. Why would I not get an investigation? At the minimum, get an investigation. Explain it. Because an ADA officer for a county says I don't warrant one? This makes no fucking sense. Makes no sense whatsoever. And I only get to speak to that ADA officer while in court. They weren't there at the last one. They weren't there at the last one. But they're somehow the one that gets to deny an investigation. The only other option is for the supervisor of the deputy that's being accused to not to request one. Now, where I'm at with him is a voicemail. It's from me to him stating, and this is why I've recorded all this for everyone to hear. And they will come out in all due time, because if you don't do a state investigation, I'm going to do CJ's investigation, where I release all the live, documented, recorded calls between me and the government, while trying to stop the felony kidnapping of my daughter. And I can literally point out to you the rights violations. So when your guy at the district attorney's office starts going, well, your constitutional rights aren't being violated. And by the way, he interjects himself, which is, I find hilarious. You in North Carolina, you like to do this. You like to interject yourself and then play the fucking victim. And exactly, Dakota Kid, they're covering up for each other and everybody knows it, which is the worst part of it. Oh, you gotta call A, who's gotta call B, who's gonna tell you to call C, who's gonna tell you to call T, who's gonna tell you to go back to A, who's gonna tell you you gotta go back to B, to C, to D, to E. And this time they're gonna add F, G, and H, and then you're gonna go back to there, and you're gonna have to go all the way back. By the way, keeping in mind this whole time, we're still gonna protect your daughter's kidnappers. We're not doing an investigation. We're not giving you a jury. We're violating your fucking rights and telling it to you and then claiming at the end of it all, we're not violating your rights, Mr. Abernathy. How the fuck are you not? Bull fucking shit. Bullshit. Bullshit. You're not. I've got you all dead to rights.
I want a fruit snack.
You don't need one right now.
Please, this one.
Oh, this girl and her fruit snacks, huh? I always lose the fruit snack war, especially if it's after 10 o'clock. There you go. Mr. Abernathy, we're not violating your 6th Amendment. You just don't have the right to a trial by jury due to North Carolina statute, code, regulation, this, that, and the other. And then you know what I responded with? Well then, how about U.S. Code, U.S. Statute 18, Section 242. Deprivation of rights under the color of law. If you're gonna sit there and read me statute, I'll read you statute. You fucking idiots. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to read you my constitutional rights and point out where you're violating those. I have the right to a trial by a jury, an impartial jury of my peers, to seek compulsory witness in my favor, to be known the charges and the allegations made against me, to have those discovered, the discovery of those prior to having any formal hearings or any of those things, so I can formulate an adequate defense in my favor, all being denied to me. My constitutional rights in North Carolina are being deprived of me. And all I'm getting is retaliation for, one, knowing my rights and asserting my rights and pleading my innocence. I'm being retaliated against. And I've documented it, I've proven it, I've unmasked every fucking character in between me and my daughter. And there are some people that still believe there's even more that need to be unmasked, which again is why I need an investigation. I need to know who's protecting kidnappers and child molesters. That would be wonderful to know who's protecting these people. That would be is that so much to ask for? Is it? You might not like my tone, you might not like my voice, you might not like the words that come out of my mouth, you might not like the way I speak to people. I don't give a flying fuck, because you motherfuckers are the one that are protecting my daughter's kidnappers with your bureaucratic games. Oh, well, we can't stop the kidnapping of your daughter because we don't have this piece of paper. So you are just essentially a sanctuary county for child molesters and kidnappers, Onslow County. How proud does that make you feel? That when we do an investigation, our conclusion is, well, they just must protect child molesters and kidnappers out there. That's that's what we come to. And it is not a crime to demand your rights be asserted and you defending your rights. It is not a crime to speak up when your due process rights are being violated, only for you to be assaulted by a deputy. I'm sorry, how does that not violate my due process? Why are you touching me? That's literally what happened. A deputy positioned himself in a spot where he could then escalate a situation so he could then use his authority to violate my rights, to assault me. And I have witness after fucking witness. And you know what? I should be able to call the compulsory witnesses, subpoenaed, if I have to, on my behalf. Most people, I wouldn't even need a subpoena. They would testify willingly to the assault that happened. So my point is still, Onslow County is protecting my daughter's abusers. Onslow County is still protecting my daughter's kidnappers. Onslow County is still protecting my daughter's child molester. So what am I supposed to do about it? I've sat at this table and told you guys that I'm going to do some of the craziest shit in the world. I'm going to Standing Rock. I'm going to this march. I'm going to that trip. I'm going to go here. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. But I honestly have no clue where I go from here. People tell me, oh, you need an attorney. No, you need to... what part of wake up? If you're watching me and you're cyber stalking me, wake up. What part of I am my own attorney do these people not get? And that I document everything that they do because it's causing me damages. What part of that don't they get? Bethany, I'm a first year from graduating, or I'm 1 year from graduating criminal justice, human services degree, and I feel like the system is crooked as fuck. It is. It is. And it's all who you know, how you know them, connected, and certain, again, if you watch The Den of Vipers in Onslow County, it's amazing to watch an attorney go out to a client in the hallway, go down to this courtroom, snake his way through their back tunnel system, come back out this courtroom, and then let people go and watch them do their work. It's incredible. It's incredible. how much corruption there is and how crooked this system actually is. Spend one day in Onslow County's new facility, their new courthouse, and just observe lawyers and judges and their interactions and how unconstitutional the entire thing is, and it'll make you sick. I want justice, not a plea bargain. I'm not pleading anything. I'm not guilty. In fact, I find it insulting that, one, I am going to potentially see jail time before Hillary Clinton. Two, or even better yet, my daughter's kidnappers and abusers and molesters. I'm going to have to potentially sit in a jail cell for being the victim of an assault while pointing out my rights are being violated and that this county is protecting my daughter's abusers. How fucked up is that? Good morning, Mr. Reb Rider. There is no justice. There's just us. Well, I appreciate the just us today. Allowing me the opportunity and taking some of your time to vent myself what I've been experiencing. I appreciate those that have stood by me. I appreciate those that have had my back. I appreciate those that have shared my message, that support me. I appreciate those that have witnessed for me. The corner point attorney high-fived the district attorney on the way out of the courtroom. There is no justice there is no equal protection under the law. How is this supposed to be what we teach our children? Because you damn sure are never going to be able to tell my daughter that I gave up. It'll never happen. Every day I think about her. Every day I pray about her. So how are you going to tell me I'm going to give up when you can't even stop me from praying? So I wake up the next day, I'm even more determined. I'm even more irritated because it's one more day I'm proving this kidnapping is still ongoing. And we all know that a kidnapping has no statute of limitations. So what you're telling me is the only way I'm going to get justice is if I figure out the bureaucratic system or hire one of your court-appointed lackeys, the ones that go and high-fiving each other, the ones that are going in paying each other off. Give me this case, I'll work that case. We do this, we do that. You give me this, I'll give you that. Making rules up from the fucking bench, superseding law, constitutional law, depriving people of their rights under the color of law. We proved this. I proved it. I've predicted it, and I've told you what they're going to do before they do it, and they absolutely hate that I know their playbook. And like I told you, I'm predicting it now, and I'm telling you now. And I have not predicted, I have not once been wrong about my predictions when it comes to my personal case because I am my own attorney. I see what chess move they're going to do. I was on the chess team in high school. I think 5 moves ahead. I think 10 moves ahead. So when I tell you, oh, this is what they're going to do. That's what they're going to do. Do you want to know why? Because they know it. I know it. It's no secret how they violate people's rights. Here's what they're going to do when I go out there in May. I'm walking into it. You might as well say dead man walking. For misdemeanors. Non-violent misdemeanors. Again, I'm going to see more jail time in Onslow County for trying to stop the felony kidnapping of my daughter than some child molesters get, than some people that beat children get in Onslow County. They are going to throw the book at me for misdemeanors. They're going to take me out of my home from stopping to be with my child here in South Dakota because they can. Because they're going to protect an officer. They got to protect their narrative. They can't let somebody like me beat them. And I've said this from day one. Whether it was in California's case or this case. I've said it to my previous attorneys. They are not going to let me win pro se because that would look very bad for their little game they play. Imagine a game of Monopoly, except this is called Family Court Edition. And the only way that you could go across the board and play is if you had one of their pieces. But then they say there's a little rule in there that says you can bring your own piece. I choose my own piece. I get on the board. I start rolling dice and they start seeing me winning. They start seeing me recognizing my rights. Speaking it. Not only speaking it, living it. They want to stop that. They want to stop me from not only speaking my rights, but teaching anybody else that would come behind me how to speak their rights and assert their rights and defend their rights in the constitutionally protected manner. So I get there in May, and I promise you they're going to put a noose around my neck and put me in as much jail cell time as they can. All again for trying to stop the felony kidnapping of my daughter, which is good. They're going to love, by the way. I mean, I am more than positive that my daughter's kidnappers have enjoyed and got sick fucking pleasure. And that means they're cyber stalking me. So they know what the hell to expect. So they can figure out what they're going to do to benefit them. To continue the kidnapping of my daughter. You've watched me get on a plane in a blizzard to fly through a hurricane to get there on time. And I want an investigation, and that's too much to ask for. I want to figure out who the players are in my case and why they think it's okay to violate my rights. I want to know why they think it's okay that they can quote North Carolina code but violate federal law when I am not even a constituent in your jurisdiction. Which means that we're going to play by a little different rules than your county rules. We're going to play by some federal rules. Which again, everybody's told me. Why do you think I'm so versed and probably one of the most educated people on paternity establishment laws and custody laws in this country? Why do you think I am one of the people that are so articulate in the UCCJEA that I teach sheriff's deputies a thing or two? That when they look into what I'm saying, they go, oh shit, yeah, CJ, if this was in this jurisdiction, that kidnapping would already be over. But I get to the county where my daughter's actually being harbored and everybody is sitting there like a fucking idiot with a thumb up their ass telling me they don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Well, that's just not how we do it in Onslow County, North Carolina. We protect child abusers and pedophiles and molesters and all kidnappers. You can bring your child to Onslow County if you are a woman in the United States of America and you want to kidnap your children from their father or child from their father. I suggest you take them to Onslow County, North Carolina, where you, the child abuser, the child molester, the kidnapper of your child, you will find sanctuary. I highly recommend Onslow County for pedophiles, murderers, for kidnappers, you name it. You will get away with those crimes in Onslow County, I assure you. But they will make whole task force for you if you have a natural plant in your system. How fucking stupid. Good morning, Pamela. How stupid. And of course, I've got a governor out here dumber than a box of rocks who wouldn't know her head from her ass. So that's just a headache and a half to listen to. I don't have time to educate Governor Noam as much as I'd like to. I gave her a hard time here in the last week. But you do know that it would only take one phone call from the governor of South Dakota for my case stand? I've said this before, I'll say it again. If the governor of South Dakota is a mandated reporter, she sure as shit don't act like it. Which means that she's what we call misprison of a felony, and I told this to Marty Jackley twice. I'd like to bring a bill forth that says the governor of each state is a mandated reporter. Can we get that on the record, whether or not Governor Kristi Noem believes she is a mandated reporter or not? I'm going to say this again, and I'm going to say this 1,000 times before all you federal fucking idiots get into my fucking shit. And again, don't take that personal. That's just a blanket statement for everybody that's going to be stupid about it. The federal government is going to tell me, and I quote, unless you have exhausted everything at the state level, I mean everything, they are not going to take your case. And if you don't exhaust every limit at the state level, they will send you back to the state level. And again, what?
I'm right here.
I see you. Are you watching your movie?
Yeah.
You have lunch here in a little bit. She's already more hungry. Can you believe that? She's 4 and she's growing up like a bean every day. So, that's my rights violation report for the day. It's amazing how many people will call themselves a patriot, say this country is constitutional, will sit there and watch as rights are being deprived and still say, oh, thank God for this country. Yeah, thank God rights are being violated. That we have leaders that believe they're leaders, but don't know their employees. I watched my employee here the other day. I think my employee does a good job. I think if called upon, he would have a conversation with me. I have a right to redress my grievance just because I know my rights. I assert my rights. I'm retaliated against. Again, I'm going to read you guys the 6th Amendment. This is normally when people tune out, but because again they don't like hearing the Constitution. I don't know. In all criminal prosecutions, tell me where I'm wrong. I'm being criminally prosecuted. The accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy. This is going to be 5-6 months by the time I see a judge. And public trial. Oh, what did the officer try to do? Close the courtroom off to everybody? I think Mr. Marks, I think you were there. And witness to him saying, oh, and then you saw how quickly they had to backtrack that one. And an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed. Not getting that. So how is it when I say my 6th Amendment's being violated and they say you just don't have a right to a jury trial? Is that not violating my 6th Amendment in North Carolina? And to be informed of the nature and the cause of the accusation. We don't do discovery in Onslow County. Oh, then the district attorney, you know what the district attorney told me, Mr. Marks? He said that they do, you just have to fill out a piece of paper for it. That's not what the judge said in open court and on the record. To be confronted with the witnesses against him. Don't have that. Again, to have those statements made about me under penalty of felony perjury. Don't have those. To have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor. And to have the assistance of counsel for his defense. Well, you waived your right to counsel, CJ. Yeah, well, I can easily say I assert it. I waived my counsel because I don't want any of your North Carolina running down the halls, scratching judges' balls, getting favors for this and that and the other, when I can just act on my own behalf. And in my daughter's best interest, you fucking idiots. As the Supreme Court has stated, parents act in their children's best interest. It's kind of a nature thing. Now again, are there parents that don't? Yeah, my daughter's kidnappers are prime examples of what acting in a child's best interest does not look like. How they committed crimes in the California court in order to obtain the order that they're being protected by now. Again, I'm talking about the criminal matter. In the family court matter, I just need a piece of paper from North Carolina or from California. And you know what? I do this on my time. I've got 3 months. Now I've got 2 months and 8 days. 2 months and 9 days. You don't think I didn't talk out process and timeline with my people? Of when I'm going to file certain documents and play your bureaucratic stupid fucking games? Because again, I'm not getting my rights. They're not being protected. Every time I've gone to Onslow County, I've come back with a new rights violation complaint. A new person that is sitting there saying, oh, I can't do this because of that. I directly looked at a sheriff's deputy and said, do you uphold the law? My daughter's being kidnapped. And he literally took that as an opportunity to assault me. Keep in mind, I have the video evidence of everything I'm saying. Or I have the audio recordings for everything I'm saying. So I won't be calling them today. Where I'm at right now is where I've been at many days in the past before, waiting on a sheriff to give me a phone call. Many, many days I've spent waiting for a sheriff to give me a phone call. And so again, I can record it, so that way it's documented. So that way when my daughter is old enough one day, she won't have to be there out in the world saying, my daddy gave up on me. It's important that to me that my children do not see me quit. You'll see me struggle. You'll see me go through these things. You'll watch me predict the rights violations. You'll watch me predict it all. So yeah, it's a little irritating to know your rights are being violated. It's a little irritating to know that your daughter's still being kidnapped and harbored where your rights are being violated. Where did my charger go? So that's where I'm at today with it, folks. Anybody like to join, all you gotta do is push the button. Taylor says the worst part is you can't do anything physical to get her back. At the same time, you can't even go through court to get her back. Now, how is that protecting the citizens? How is that standing for the people? I agree. Dakota Kid, you have not been on my broadcast. First time. Welcome. It says it's adding. Oh, still adding. Yeah. Need to buy more smokes. Yeah, I did that yesterday. No answer from live video guest. Yeah. So like I said, waiting on a sheriff to call me back. We'll try again, Dakota Kid. Oof. Ladies and gentlemen, Dakota Kid, first time on the broadcast. Yeah, you got to make sure your phone is turned horizontal. That could be what's going on. If you're watching the phone like you normally hold it, just hold it the other way. That's so you can get half the screen. If you're holding it like this, go ahead and hold it like that. Third time's the charm. And we'll try a third attempt for Dakota Kid. First time on the broadcast. Yeah, I have a feeling this one ain't gonna work, Dakota Kid. Yeah, nope, no answer from live video guest. We tried. It won't let you on. That could be Facebook. Anybody else want to give it a shot? You're more than welcome to push the button. You know, another sick part is, no, we